terrible things are underway in the UK. So, Tommy Robertson was talking about Pakistani child pedophile rape and torture gangs, which had been allowed to operate with impunity, if not downright protection, by the police in the United Kingdom for decades. Decades. These immigrant monsters had their way with white British children, would be considered a catastrophic hate crime by any other group, and Tommy was trying to talk about it and bring exposure to what was going on in this situation. He was trying to do the job that the mainstream media has not been doing. Mainstream media and the UK police and the UK political system has a long and tragic history of covering up for pedophilia for reasons that are probably outside the scope of this little conversation. But Tommy was trying to bring attention to that, and he was reporting on these trials, and then he was yanked off the streets recently and thrown into prison for 15 months because there was perceived to be a violation of his parole conditions. But I think everybody knows what's really going on, which is that what he talks about is inconvenient to the powers that be in the UK and what they wish to do to the population. And the white working class population has been unceremoniously shoved out of their own neighborhoods, has been suppressed, their economic opportunities have been diminished with mass immigration and the predation on their children by these horrible gangs that have been operating in many, many cities and towns throughout the United Kingdom. And so Tommy brought a voice to people whose silence is necessary for the wholesale transformation, if not destruction, of British culture, and that can't be allowed. And so the state, I believe, and I think a lot of people believe as well, was no longer looking to solve a crime, but looking to solve a problem called Tommy Robertson. And through that process of trying to solve the problem, they were willing to, you know what they say, if a cop follows you for long enough, sooner or later he's going to catch you doing something in your car, like going 2 kilometers over the speed limit, or parallel parking too far away from the curb, or not coming to a complete stop. And if the state has it in for you, that is the general fear. If the state likes you, if the state wishes to protect you, then it seems in the UK you can rape little white girls by the tens of thousands with impunity, if not downright police protection. But if the police want to get you, if the state wants to get you, then they will follow you until they can. It is no longer the rule of law and has not been for some time. So according to Tommy's right-hand man, Caolan Robertson, Tommy Robertson was transferred just recently from a prison with a very small Muslim population to a prison with a much larger Muslim population, according to Caolan, and I quote, filled with people who don't like him. Now, the last time Tommy was in prison, there was reportedly a hit put out on him, and he was people tried to attack him, to assault him, to take him out, and he had to fight back. So given this situation, and given what he's been reporting on, and given the population of Muslims in the prison he's been transferred to, of course it would be perfectly rational and sensible, if you had the goal of not inflicting a death penalty on his reporting, to keep him in isolation, to keep him segregated from the general population. If you throw him into general population, it's like throwing a baby into blood-maddened shark water, and, well, it's not that complicated to figure out what's going to happen next. So to move him to a prison with a much higher Muslim population, and then to put him in general population, which has reportedly been done, is a de facto death sentence, I believe, in what he has been doing. In a few short hours in his new prison, Tommy Robertson's life has already been threatened. It's been reported that last night other inmates were screaming at Tommy all night long, banging on their cell doors, and apparently a new hit has been put out on Tommy. A price has been put on his life, which is the same thing that happened the last time he was in prison. And can you imagine being in that kind of situation, where the feral mob baying for your head, clanging and banging and screaming all night, knowing that you were going to have to join them in a dangerous and volatile and hard to protect environment in the general population? It would be a time to make peace with your imminent end. Now, YouTube has also removed a 2-minute and 26 video Tommy uploaded in March, which was titled, "I Won't Be Around Much Longer." He talked about being suspended from Twitter for posting verifiable facts about these child rape grooming gangs, and also he talked about how forces were at work to further silence him. And of course, given that it seems his martyrdom is tragically imminent, Of course, the powers that be probably don't want his prediction of what is going to happen to him to be out there and in the public. Caolan Robertson has said that this is the most worried and nervous that I've ever seen from him ever. And this is terrifying and terrible stuff. This is a situation in which an inconvenient voice is being rubbed out by the powers that be, using the very criminals that he was probably criticizing to effect the hit upon him. And where is the media? Where are the reporters? Where is the mainstream? Where is the outrage from people across the pond? Where is outrage from people across Europe at what is being done to this man? Because he is standing up for the silent, for the brutalized, for the marginalized, for the oppressed, for the parents and the children of those horribly preyed upon in these pedophile, torture, rape gangs. Where is the voice? Where is the outrage? Because if you think it's Tommy Robertson and it's going to somehow be solved with his ending, you can think again, because this is a test case. This is a test case to see what they can get away with. Can they silence someone in this kind of fashion? Can they nullify any theoretical remnants of free speech with this kind of brutality, with this kind of throwing him into a shark pit and saying, well, I guess he just didn't figure out how to swim in time now, did he? Now, according to reports, Tommy has a new legal team that is working on his case, looking to secure his safety and his freedom. But this is a watershed moment, I believe, in the limits of allowable discourse in society. If you can't get angry and expose gangs that rape children, cross-racial rape of children, endless rape of little white working-class girls, if the government has a problem with somebody who is outraged and angry about that situation, then the government has a problem with all good people. And what that means is that all good people should have a problem with the government.